Another device that is coming out this week as well is the Realme 8 Pro. Now, disclaimer, I have partnered with Realme to do some sponsored coverage as well as a massive giveaway. This is the biggest giveaway ever had on any platform on the channel. We're going to be giving away lots of Realme 8 Pros. I can't specify exactly how much. I want to keep that as a surprise. You know how much I've got. You've seen the pictures, but that will be on the main channel. But just to kind of run you over some of the features that the Realme 8 Pro has. So it's a 6.4-inch AMOLED display, right? Now, let me just remind you that this device is coming in at just £279. So I want to keep going back to this, right? You've got a 108 megapixel primary camera. This is the Samsung HM2 Sensor, which I believe is now one of the this device is one of the most affordable devices with a 108 megapixel sensor. We have an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, Snapdragon 720G chipset. We've got 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage, and we get a 50-watt SuperDart Charger included out of the box. So you don't have to buy that separately, and it's a 4,500 milliamp hour battery. So yeah, I mean, this price category is really getting interesting. If you don't really want to spend too much, I mean, the 720G, what would you say in terms of that processor?
I mean, it's interesting though. What I find the most interesting here, as I said the word interesting twice or three times, is the fact that the 720G is capable of handling the 108 processor. That's 108 megapixel camera lens, which is something that we thought was left for the 800 or maybe the highest 700 series. So it looks like, Qualcomm they've partnered with Qualcomm to do something, really good, where at least on a lower price device you're going to get some good images. I mean, that's a good thing.
That's really interesting that you mentioned that, because one thing that a lot of people forget is when we're talking about these very high resolution cameras and big large size sensors, you do need the image signal processor that can handle that level of detail, right? Because you're getting a lot of detail coming through from those sensors. Now, it needs to be computed, right? And if you've got a good image signal processor, an ISP as it's called, on the chipset, that's when you really can make the most of these images. And having that 720G there. And one of the things I have to keep reminding myself, I'm sure you do as well, is we're so used to devices that are around £1,000, $1,000, right? You kind of get into that mindset of comparing everything to those. But you have to I have to keep reminding myself whenever I'm like with a device like the Realme 8 Pro, is that this device is literally a quarter of the price of one of those flagships, right? So £279, you could get 4 of those devices for the price of, say an iPhone 12 Pro Max or the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra or something like that. So you kind of have to keep reminding yourself, there's a bit of a chin, yes, and you do get the 2 megapixel black and white as well as the 2 megapixel macro cameras. Again, that's something that at a device at that price, I'm kind of like, okay, even if you don't use those, you're still getting a decent package. An AMOLED display, sure, it's not going to be 120 hertz, but you're getting a good AMOLED display which has 1000 nits of peak brightness, again, for that price. So it's definitely interesting to see the competition that's coming at this price.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think also, again, at that price point, you don't need to focus. I wouldn't say want to. You don't need to focus on 120 hertz display. Better camera, better battery. That price point has different desires and needs as opposed to trying to throw in all the hard and fancy stuff in there.
Hey, and I mean, you're getting a 50-watt charger included out of the box, which you don't get with many of the devices as well. So, I mean, it's looking like a promising device. As mentioned, there's going to be some coverage on the main channel, so do check that out. And soon on the main channel as well, there will be, mark my words, the biggest giveaway that we've had on my channel, but pretty much on many of the channels as well. We've got something big coming up, and being able to work with a brand such as Realme gives us the opportunity to, do these massive partnerships which you wouldn't be able to do otherwise, right? Because it just would not be feasible for us to do that individually. I hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to hear the full podcast episode, then that will be linked down below. And if you want to see more clips like this, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss them. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf Speaks, and I'll see you next time.